Yeah, I'm ready to go. It's just, are you ready with the timer?
Okay, guess I'll count down then. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, good luck.
Woo! Yeah, so today the game has started having issues with loading. Hopefully that will not happen during this run. We'll see. But it may just end up infinitely loading at some point. Let's hope it does not do that. So yeah, this is NiGHTS. Shintalk can explain more. I'm playing the game right now.
Alright, howdy, I'm Shintalk. This is Nights in the Dreams. Game for the Sega Saturn, made by Sonic Team, famous people who made the Sonic games, of course, and a bunch of other really amazing games. For the Sega Saturn, they generally focused on everything but Sonic. This was one of their flagship titles that they made. They actually made a special controller just for this game that made use of a very intelligent analog technology, or analog joystick of sorts. So basically, this game, you play as two characters, Elliot and Claris. Both have unique levels. There's 3 levels for each character, and then there's a final level that is shared between them. Both characters play exactly the same, they just have different visually, but in each stage, you start out as one of the kids, and you go towards the gazebo where you can transform into knights. Basically, as knights, you are a flying acrobatic dream jester of sorts. Basically, each stage, you have to collect 20 of these blue orbs that are called chips in the game, and you have to destroy these cages, and then after that, we go back to the gazebo to start the next lap. At least that's in the speedrun, and like, if you wanted to do a score attack, you can continue forward to build up points up until the timer reaches 0. Yeah?
Oh no, I was just laughing at how I messed it up.
Oh. So our main movement is going to be using the drill attack, which gives us a lot of speed and also lets us just dash through enemies and other various things. And now we're going to be coming up to the first boss, Guild Wing, which normally takes 21 hits to kill, if I recall. But Claris is going to do a parry loop on the tail, which allows us to just take it out in a single hit. And good job, got it very quickly.
Yeah, so either that fight takes about 80 seconds the like casual way, or less than 10 seconds that way. Quite the difference.
And this is actually an intended strategy because that's like the only way you can get like a 2.0 on the fight.
Yeah. Okay, so just there I soft reset the game. I do that after every stage, and it just saves a little bit of time over going through the like score screen and stuff.
Yeah, it probably saves like between like 3 to 6 seconds, depending whether or not you get a hint screen afterwards.
Yeah.
But every little bit counts.
Girl.
Girl.
So yeah, like you were mentioning before, every boss has the multiplier at the end, depending on how fast you beat it. And like Killing, you have to beat him in under 10 seconds in order to get the best multiplier. So the strat I did is very intended.
Yeah. So now we're in the next stage, Mystic Forest, and we're gonna do something a little different here. After defeating the first mare, we're gonna go left back to the gazebo instead of going right. That way it's just a little bit faster than going the normal way, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
And in a lot of stages, surprisingly, there's exactly 20 orbs before, or chips, right before the mare that you can collect.
I know it's easier to understand when you say orbs, but it's so, like, no, it's chips!
Yeah, because there are actual orbs somewhere.
Yeah, so
no, that's right. The idiot orbs or the orb. That's right. And so basically, those orbs we're collecting are supposed to be representative of the human spirit or conscience or something like that. And basically in every stage you start out with courage and you have to collect the other 4. I forget what they all are, but I think like one of them is like love or something. And oh yeah, on this
I don't think
this
there's a
left we
love
did,
one.
I just huh?
I don't think there's a love.
No, I don't remember honestly.
I
But
don't
on
remember
this
either.
particular section we go left instead of right because it's a lot faster. If you go right, you have to do like 2 laps or something.
Not every level can be done going left, but that one can. And just works
Yeah,
out
there's
with
some
that.
where there's an auto scroller that just prevents you from going the other direction. But for the most part, you can, I guess, choose your path. That the game generally wants you to go right. There are numerous auto scrollers on Elliot's side, with one on Claris's side. And we skip most of them. There's one on Elliot's that we do intentionally just because there's no other way to get around it.
Well, I mean, you could wait for time to run out and then do it as a kid. That would work.
That'd take a long time. Alright, so this is Gulpo, the second boss of the game. Basically, he is inside a cylinder, and we have to use these fish to pass through it to hit him. And if you hit him, you hit him once and he becomes stunned, and if you hit him again while he's stunned, you do double damage. And you can kill him as little as like 3 hits, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 hits if you can continuously hit him while stunned.
Yeah, that took 4 hits, so you can see I got a 1.9 instead of a 2.0. So, like, you have...
It's really hard to get the optimal one. Because you have to basically get the first hit just right. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah. I'm pretty consistent. I actually got the first 2 hits just fine. I just, like, hesitated a bit too much for the third. And so I
Okay.
barely didn't get the 3rd hit in time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so here I'm actually gonna do the first part of the level, or the first mirror, as the kid. So.
And doing it as the kid has some really cool movement. Basically, you can chain your jumps to gain speed up to like an infinite amount, yeah?
Yeah.
But it's generally, you're not going to be able to do that. And you can just tap your jumps and chain it. Yeah, I know like on the first one you can hold it, and then after that you have to tap it to keep a horizontal movement.
Yes.
Unless there's something I don't know about.
Whoops. So actually this level and the next 2 levels I'll be doing the first one at least partially as a kid.
Yeah.
So,
And the gimmick with the stage is that like all the walls are really bouncy. So here she collects that Sonic emblem, which just basically refills your drill attack gauge so we can keep doing it longer. Most stages have one that's easily accessible. Mystic Forest and Splash Garden don't, though.
yeah. Mystic Forest is like at the very end of the level when you don't really need it anymore, and Splash Garden is just too far away.
Alright, so right there, I know we just passed it, but Claris just skipped the auto-scroller of the stage. Basically, there's an auto-scroller you're supposed to go through to collect a bunch of the chips. But what she did is she went back to the left to collect a cage of chips and 5 more, and then there's some more right before the auto-scroller. And then what she did was bounce off the wall, the ceiling, and the floor to do a very large paraloop to collect chips that were off the screen.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it being a 3D game, is that you can actually get items that are off the path if you do a big enough loop.
And it seems like it's kind of intentional because there's some parts where they're just kind of there, inaccessible. So now we're fighting Jackal, which the main gimmick is that Jackal has this cape that while Jackal has the cape, they're invulnerable, and also like throws cards at you. So what we have to do is get the cape off and then continuously chain attacks on it until it dies. And Claris did a very excellent job on it.
Yeah, that was a really good fight.
Yeah. I always get really nervous with that fight when I'm trying to do, like, hit Jackal vertically.
Yeah, I mean, I've played this game a ton over the years and speedrunning it, and so I put a ton of practice into these bosses. Like,
Yeah. I played it a lot when I first got it back in the day, and then I just set aside the Saturn for a long time because of MMO stuff.
it was a C rank because you have to keep doing like laps around the level over and over and over, and not stop until time's almost out to increase your score.
Yeah, you have to basically work towards getting a score better than C if you really want to keep trying. So, like, the main thing with this game is, for the longest time, I didn't know this until I started, like, really getting into it in, like, the early 2010s, is that you need a minimum of a C rank to access the final stage for each character. And so it's like, I see these icons, but I was never able to access them for the longest time. But basically, the way score in this game works is that you build up link chains to what's the word I'm looking for? To build up, just to get more score. And the faster you defeat the faster you unlock the orb from the mayor's cage, the more bonus points you get, and then you also get double points for everything up until you go back to the gazebo. So if you really wanted to score attack this game, you'd of course do all that, but there's also a lot of other like cheap things you can do for score attacks. So right now Claris is trying to get 20 or 20 chips here to get this orb, and instead of going right, she goes back left, because if you go right, there's like a top-down section similar to earlier Mystic Forest, and it actually is quite laggy, and it also is a longer distance. So now here she's doing another super para loop to get at least 10 chips, and then another 10 more right before that to get the orb here to skip. It's sort of an auto-scroller, I guess. It's similar to the one that we skipped in Soft Museum, except there's like a mermaid nights.
Yeah. That's really slow, so I need to make sure I get all the chips early.
Yeah. So we get all the chips really early. And now we're fighting Puffy, one of the more annoying bosses in the game, I guess.
Yes.
Basically, we gotta throw her through each of these walls to get to the end where we can pop her, because she's basically like a giant balloon. And if you've ever played Christmas Nights, there's an unlockable where you can do Spring Valley as the first stage in the game as Sonic, and also fight Dr. Robotnik as Puffy.
Yeah.
It's actually quite humorous.
It's got good music too.
Oh yeah, the music's really good.
During the next stage, if there's any donations, we can read them.
But yeah, this game is basically Claris and Elliot's dreams. And they basically team up with Knights to stop Wise Man, who is like the master of dreams or something like that. And I think like Wise Man has like started like harvesting people's nightmares or something. I don't remember exactly. Harvesting for their ideas, which is like the orbs that are surrounding the kids right now in the loading screen.
So,
And then, oh, go ahead.
I actually do have a donation, and I know it is specifically for you, Claris. It is a $10 donation that just says, "Girl, declare the adventure."
Girl.
Nice. So again, this is like the last one we do on foot. There's like 20 orbs there, or chips.
Yeah, like, you have to do 3 laps normally, so it's faster to get some of the chips early as a kid.
Yeah. Every time you go, you do a complete lap, everything respawns except for emblems, which are like hidden little objects that can give you extra points or refill your drill attack meter. So here she's collecting more chips. And also spawning a drill attack gauge refill, which those should just carry her for the rest of the stage. Oh, something I haven't mentioned yet Going through those rings that we see, there's two kinds. There's orange and yellow ones. Going through the orange ones refills your drill attack meter by like 1 second of duration. And going through the yellow ones refills it by 2 seconds, if I remember correctly. Or something. Yeah.
It's 1 unit and 2 units, and each unit is half a second.
Oh, half a second. Okay.
Yeah.
And very quickly, she just did an auto scroller there. It's the only one that we intentionally do because there's just no way around it. And you can get a lot of orbs in it anyways, or chips in it anyways, so it doesn't really matter. So now we're fighting Claus, which is this is probably my favorite boss in the game. Well, it's still my favorite. So basically, you got to destroy all the mice, the firework mice, until there's none left. Well, at least normally. But what we do is normally you can only destroy the ones that are lit by dashing through them. But if you do a fair loop around the unlit ones, you can also destroy them and greatly reduce the places Claus can jump to. And basically, the only thing you have to do is dash into Claus and do an attack. But Claus is always running away from you. But if you destroy enough of them quickly enough, you can just prevent Claus from being able to run away anymore. And Claris did that very quickly.
Yeah, I have a very specific strat for what to do there, and it's easy to mess up, but I didn't mess it up that time, so it's good.
Yeah. So now we're on the last stage for Elliot, Steep Canyon. It's definitely the hardest stage casually, and it's a difficult stage in the speedrun too, but it's definitely my favorite to do because of how just fun it is. So basically, she did a cactus jump where it allows her to retain control during the cutscene where your orbs get stolen. But it also has like the strange effect of locking your animation briefly as you're leaving it. And also it locks out your ability to do stunts until you get to the gazebo. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah, it does. Well, it prevents stunts until you get to the idiot capture or you interact with certain other objects.
Oh, okay, so it's just like that. So here we're skipping the first auto scroll of this game, which is that grate right there on the right. There's exactly 20 orbs before the idiot cage, and you have to be very careful because sometimes that grate can just draw you in.
Yeah, that's the start of an auto scroller, and it wastes a ton of time if you accidentally touch that, so you have to be really careful there.
Yeah, generally it's easy enough to avoid, but sometimes it can get a little scary. And so here you get tallied up for points, basically using some bonus points. It doesn't matter what your number is, it's always going to take the same amount of time.
Yeah.
And then we're going to the fourth lap, which has a vertical, like an unusual vertical section, where you have to fly upwards, and the idiot cage is all the way at the top.
Right there, I purposely bonk on the floor to like adjust the camera a bit, because if I don't, then it'll be facing upwards, and it causes so much lag if you do that. So.
And then there's an auto-scroller here that's extremely long. It's basically two auto-scroller grate. So like basically, it turns into like a behind the view, and you're on a grate, and you don't have any control of your movement other than like being able to swing left or right. So what Claris does is just goes all the way back down the tower, and it's just so much faster. But it's a little tricky at first because you just have to basically memorize your way down. And now we're getting to Riala, who is like basically Knights' counterpart. Oh, go on.
I was just saying on this, like, it's possible to actually hit Riala before the fight starts, which like messes up the cutscene and saves a bit of time. But what's way more important is that I actually got a good fight for once.
Oh my god, yeah, that was a really nice fight. So basically, as Claris was saying, Riala is like on the screen during the cutscene and is able to be attacked, and if you know the movement, you can get a hit before, like during that cutscene, and save a bit of time.
Yeah, like saves like a second or two, And more importantly, it just looks funny because like he gets knocked around in the cutscene.
Yeah. I've actually had it once where it grabbed onto the Riel in the middle and soft locked the stage.
Okay, I completely forgot to ask about the donation sim, but it was that Claris was winning before the run started, so I'm just assuming that was what it still was.
Oh, okay, yeah, she's the final stage, where you play as final stage. Basically, the final stage, Twin Seeds, is the same for both characters. The only thing different is the ending, and I believe, like, Wise Man's burst attack is slightly different.
Yeah, I do not know why it's like that. It just is.
But it's really negligible. So unlike the other stages, this stage only has one timer.
I have missed that chip like 3 times in a row today.
I've had that happen so often. So when you're playing as one of the kids in the flying stage, there's some different things going on. Basically, you can't do para loops, but in exchange for that, you get a larger attract radius for the chips and stars.
Well, you get any attract radius at all, really.
I guess. I don't know, it's definitely bigger than when you're as Knights.
Well, I mean, you don't attract things at all as Knights. Like, you have to...
Oh, really? I don't know. I guess you're right. So basically, everything is just one long lap where you get 180 seconds to do everything. And then in this stage, Claris does like a path swap of sorts. Basically, goes past a certain point and then turns around and goes back. Just get like a little bit of a lengthy section of just flying in the middle of nowhere. And she's also trying to go through as many of the rings as she can to keep her meter up for the final fight. And does another path swap there, which is actually really convenient because then you can just go right there and just be right at the end of the stage. And then you gotta do a little bit of mashing to break Knights free.
Yeah, so...
And now we go into the final fight with Wise Man, who's actually really easy.
Yeah, time will be after the screen fully fades to white after I finish the boss. So, as soon as it's completely white after this, stop time.
So Wise Man has 4 phases. The first phase, Wise Man will throw fireballs at you. In the second phase, there'll be a bunch of like an asteroid field basically, and you have to just dodge the asteroids. And the third phase throws giant snowballs at you, which are really fun to avoid. If you run into a snowball, you grab onto it, and you get flung back quite a bit of distance. This game is on rails. There's not exactly any all range. And oh yeah, in the final phase, he starts throwing tornadoes at you, and if you dash to the middle, you won't get hit by them. You won't get affected by them. And each hit, basically, you have to wait for both Knights to basically attach to Wise Man before you can actually hit it, and you'll see like a rainbow on the barrier when you're okay to hit. And that was a very nice fight and a very nice run altogether.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, time.
Congratulations on the run. That was really solid.
Thanks. Yeah, so that's 6 seconds off the PB I got earlier.
Shows how consistent you are at this game. So depending on which character you play as, you get a different ending. There's also a third ending if you beat the game again after beating each characters. And then you're treated to a nice ending and credit sequence.
Yeah, so this ending, she gets the courage to steal the Knight's theme song to sing to them. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm pretty much done if I need to get off or anything.
So, if you want to do any like shoutouts or anything, feel free.
Shout to Shintalk and all the other runners.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks a lot for doing commentary, and shouts to girl, cause girl, and I guess I'll get off now.
Alright, good luck with the rest of the marathon.
Yep. Sure to watch Celeste. Okay, so I should stop now, right?